Well, let me turn to my guests who are here with me this morning, as I mentioned, from the Piedra Vista Theatre Department here in Farmington. Piedra Vista High School senior Aaliyah Belenti is here. Good morning to you.
Good morning to you, too.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having us.
You're very welcome. It's tough to get up early on a Friday, I would think, for a high school student.
Really is.
Right? So I appreciate you guys coming in. Also, Charles Wilhite is here, another senior at PV. Good morning to you.
Good morning to you, too.
Thank you both for coming in. And you are both involved in the upcoming theater production of Little Match Girl, right?
Yes, we are.
And talk to me a little bit about that. Charles, you're in the play, right?
Yes, I am in the play.
You are the father.
I am the father of the main character, who the play is named for, the Little Match Girl.
Right.
Yeah.
Very good. And Aaliyah, you are the stage manager.
I am the stage manager.
Okay. And so for folks who maybe aren't sure what that person does in a performance, in a production, talk to us a little bit about what that means.
So stage managers are kind of the director's right-hand man in most technical aspects. So all of the light cues and all of the sound cues will run off of my go.
Right.
Yeah, kind of the director's right-hand man.
And so you're trying to keep track of all the actors behind the stage and everything, behind the scenes, and making sure everything's in place, ready to go for those cues?
Yeah, making sure that everything, is running smoothly. And the cool thing about Piedra Vista is that it's mostly student-run. So all the shows, all the people running the sound and the lights and the set and everything will be all students.
Right.
So I'm kind of the person that initiates that.
Got you. And the other students are following your lead, I guess, right? When you give them a direction or a cue or say, get out there?
Pretty much,
right?
Yes.
Okay. Charles, is she a pretty good stage manager?
She's a very good stage manager, one of the best we've ever had.
Well, thank you.
Nice. And why do you say that? Because there's a lot going on, a lot to keep track of?
Yeah.
Are you hard to manage?
We can be sometimes.
Nice. Okay. All right. I hear you. I hear you. And so talk to me about The Little Match Girl. This is a play based on a fairy tale?
Yeah.
Right?
It is a play based upon a fairy tale by, what was it?
Hans Christian Andersen.
Yes.
Okay, right. And you are performing it next weekend, right?
October 12th and 13th.
October 12th and 13th, 7 p.m.
7 p.m.
Right up there at Piedra Vista High School.
Yes,
Yep.
at the Toronto Chrisman Performing Arts Theatre.
And tickets are $5.
Yes, students are free with ID, and faculty are free with ID
Okay.
as well.
Very good. And then this is a play that you all will be taking and performing at the statewide theater competition that will be happening the next weekend, right?
Yes, it is.
And tell me about that. That's happening at Mexico State University?
Yeah. It is.
Okay. And so
at the same time.
you go down. It's because you guys know each other, right?
Yeah.
You talk at the same time. And so you go down to New Mexico. So take me through that. How does that work? You go down to NMSU and you're taking this one play to perform, or are there other things you're going to be performing?
So there is the play, which is the one-act competition. It's the state competition. And then there's another side to that competition, which is the thespian competition, which pretty much you can go with any sort of technical thing, like a sound design or a scenic design, and compete against other people in that aspect. And then there are also like scenes that you can do, like monologues and duet scenes. And
Gotcha.
so that's kind of a separate competition, but it happens at the same place.
I see. Different categories for the
Yes.
competition, but you're up against all the other theater departments, high schools in the state, basically,
Yes.
that are taking part in this, right?
Yes.
Okay. Have you been before?
I have, yes.
And how'd you do?
I won third place duet acting with my friend Alexis.
Okay.
And we qualified for the international competition.
Very
which was
good.
very cool.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's great. Charles, what about you?
I have not been before. This will be my first time going, and I'm very excited.
Okay. And you'll be taking part in this part of this production, right?
Yep.
Of the play. And then anything else that you're involved with at the competition?
I'm also doing an IE with another actor at the school, Haley Valdez.
What does IE mean?
IE is an individual event.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
And that's another thing that is judged then at this competition.
Yes.
Gotcha. And so talk to me a little bit about rehearsing and getting things ready for this play and then to take it on the road to compete. How long have you guys been putting all this together? When did you start rehearsing for Little Match Girl?
Our first rehearsal was at the beginning of September, so about a month. This show is very different from all of our other shows because our set has to be able to transport down to NMSU. So the set is very minimal, and it's a big cast, which is kind of unusual for our stage show.
Mm-hmm.
But it's been a great time.
How big the cast is it? What'd you say?
There's 28 people, I believe, right?
I think so.
Sounds
That's
about
a
right.
lot of matches and girls. It sounds to me, but it sounds like a big cast. So
It is.
That's a lot. And so to take all that with you and practice, and so what types of things are the judges watching for? Are you aware of kind of what they're looking for when you're competing, when you're performing?
Actors' performance, just making it a believable show.
Right.
Sound set. They judge the stage manager.
No pressure.
No pressure. Absolutely no pressure. 70% of our score is based on actors, 15 is based on the stage manager, and 15 is based on the technical.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So everyone has to be working together.
Everyone has to be on their A game.
On the same page,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Right. Charles, what about you? So, I mean, if they're watching you and your performance, I mean,
Yeah.
is there any extra pressure on you to nail it?
Yeah, there's a lot of pressure, but it's part of the show. Every role has some sort of pressure to it
Right.
because you're up on stage in front of everyone, and if one part goes wrong, well, it can be kind of troublesome, but we all do very good.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, and you both have been in shows before and performing before, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
And so, when there is a problem, though, it's part of live theater, right, is that the show must go on, and so you improvise and you work around it or figure something out. You just can't run off stage, I suppose, right, and regroup, right?
No, it's kind of just figure it out as you go kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Have you had those experiences where you've had to kind of improvise a little bit on stage? Has something gone wrong?
Myself, personally, not very much. I mean, there's been like the odd slip-up or whatever where I've fallen down and I just have to hop right back up and continue the scene.
Sure.
Sometimes you forget a line and you have to ad-lib a little,
Right.
but eventually it gets back on track.
Very good. What about you? Any problems on stage?
What he said with the line thing is kind of true, especially for stage managers, because most of the cues for lights or sound go off of the dialogue. So
Right.
if the dialogue is messed up, then you kind of have to improvise. Let's go here instead of here,
Right. So that happens once in a while.
Once in a while, yes.
Right. But you got to keep those cues going, right?
Yeah,
or else everything
you
gets
gotta
off.
keep it going, otherwise, the story isn't the story.
Sure, sure. My guest this morning from Piedra Vista High School, we are talking about the performance of The Little Match Girl, which is coming up at the Piedra Vista High School Theater, coming up next weekend, as a matter of fact, the 12th and 13th at the Toronto Chrisman Performing Arts Center at Piedra Vista High School. Aaliyah Balenti is the stage manager, and Charles Wilhite is one of the actors in The Little Match Girl. And so the story, is it a good story?
Definitely.
Right? You've enjoyed it?
Absolutely. It's been a wonderful time.
Right.
It's a very sad story,
Yeah.
but it's good. It gets people thinking about the way that they treat other people, which is
Always a good
always a good
lesson
thing.
to learn, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Charles, what about you? Is it a favorite story of yours? Do you have a favorite type of play that you like to perform? Is it more drama, comedy?
I'm into more comedy-based plays, but a
Which
drama
this is
one.
not.
It is very much not.
No.
But drama can be fun. It's nice to shake things up a little, keep you on your feet.
Right.
Yeah.
And do both of you have future plans to stay with acting and maybe pursue it as a career, or what are your thoughts after high school? You're both going on to college, I know.
After high school, I hope to go to NMSU and get a degree in theater, and I would like to become an actor, both screen and stage.
Okay. Working in comedies, maybe.
Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe
Gotcha.
a bit more.
Right. Gotcha. Aaliyah, what about you?
I'm actually going to minor in theater, hopefully, wherever I end up, with a concentration in the technical side.
Okay. You really like that behind the scenes.
I really do. The technical side is what makes a story a story. Without tech, it'd be a bunch of weirdos standing around talking. So.
Okay. I would think your actor friends may want to counter that a little bit, but okay.
No, it's just pretty right.
I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. Well, I know when I go to live theater, I'm always impressed by the acting, of course, but also how some of the theater and the behind the scenes or the sets are manipulated and changed so that it really does add to the story. And I always wonder, like, how do they do that, or how is it able to be happening without the special effects that we're so used to now in TV and movies, and the computer-generated things that you just don't have access to in a live stage production.
Yeah, it's amazing. I I can't convey how much I love technical theater.
Right.
It's what makes a story a story. It's the little things that you don't notice, like when there's a sad scene, the lights will kind of go blue or something, and when the things on stage are more uplifting, the lights will brighten up, and it's just all the little things that you don't notice that really make the story the story.
As a member of the audience, you really play with our feelings, and I kind of resent that a little bit.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. But it's okay. But it's all by design, isn't it? I mean, that is the reason, to get us to feel a certain way
It's meant
with a
to do
certain
that.
scene.
Yeah, exactly.
So, very good.
As
Charles?
an actor, I can admit there's only so much that we can do to convey emotion to the audience, and all the technical people, they really help a lot.
Sure.
They give it that extra push and
Right.
that shove to really get it to peak performance.
And you all have to be working together. It really has to be a well-oiled machine, and this competition probably
Yeah.
shows that as well, of how much everybody has to really be doing their part to add to the success of the entire production.
Yeah, it's all kind of just, we all have to be on the same page, working together willingly. And the cool thing about our theater is that most of us get along.
That's good. That's always good, right?
So,
And at least everyone can see the goal of working together
yeah,
and getting
and
along.
we all have that common goal of getting, to state and possibly winning.
Sure.
So,
But for the residents and folks who are listening and watching us this morning, they can take part and help see what you're taking to state by coming to see the show next weekend, right?
yes, do you want to?
The 2 days, right?
2
Coming
days.
up.
Yeah, on October 12th and the 13th at 7 p.m.
Okay.
$5 at the door unless you are a student with a student ID or you are a faculty member with a faculty ID.
Okay, very good. It is Little Match Girl, presented by the Piedra Vista High School Theater Department at the Toronto Chrisman Performing Arts Center. Piedra Vista High School, $5 tickets, and again, this is what the students are taking with them to compete against other theater departments from all across the state. So, thank you for coming in this morning, both of you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Good luck at state.
Thank you.
You get a blue trophy, like they do in sports if you win. Yeah. So good luck. Bring one back.
Thank you.
All right. You're very welcome. My guest here on KSJE. I'll be back with much more coming up in just a moment. The time right now is 8:26.